attack, fast fatal heart impact, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and packs. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kira's show here, and this was supposed to be out yesterday, but with the way my throat was acting yesterday, I didn't feel like recording another video. So let's hope that I can at least get a few out today. Now, whenever we last left off, I believe Midoriya was at the age roughly of around 5 years old to 6 years old. That does not really matter right now because we are going over a time skip of roughly about, let's say about 5 to 6 years. Now, Midoriya, he is at the age of 12, and the community he has lived in, it has expanded. They have gotten bigger. However, there is becoming a bit of a problem. There is a small rumor going around about something in the world, relatively something in Japan. There is a rumor about the virus mutating, the virus that has already affected people. A lot of people are saying that volatiles, they are showing odd signs. Some people have said that they've expressed or at least shown quirks. And these rumors, some people have at least thought they've seen them, or at least these strange coincidences. Now, with that being said, you do have Izuku today. He is currently taking apart his grappling hook and putting it back together, making sure that all the pieces are working and that his gear is perfectly fine. Now, after he does that, he actually does aim it up high, and he fires it, being able to actually latch onto something as he begins to feel it pull. As Midoriya feels it pull, he simply just begins to take a step backwards, and holding onto it with both hands, he halves his body weight. As soon as he does that, he feels himself get tugged upwards, and he halves it again, making himself weigh about 5 pounds, while he just had 100 pounds of force pull him up into the air, all his momentum allowing him to fly high. Now, Midoriya is currently out with his mother. Him and Inko are, relatively, the only ones who can use the grappling hooks efficiently, other than 2 other people at their camp. Now, Midoriya, him and Inko, they're out today scavenging, and making sure that they can at least try and pick clean a few other places, trying to make sure that they're in working order. His dad has a bit of an idea. The way their community is going right now, they don't believe that they can survive the next winter. So they try to find non-perishable foods. They've headed to supermarkets, they've headed to gas stations, they've headed to a lot of different places. Some of them are picked clean. And today, Midoriya, he does actually land onto the rooftop, and simply just jump up high. Midoriya landed as if he was a frog, and then instantly just leaped up again. Him basically moving through the air weightlessly, while he does actually make sure to stay on comms with his mother. Her trying to talk with him and make sure that he's okay. She can see him since she's right behind him, telling him that he just needs to make sure to keep moving, and to not stay in the same place for too long. Midoriya is listening. As whenever he does clear the next gap, he does have to actually bring out his weapon. A spiked baseball bat. As soon as he does, he swings it across as hard as he can. And as he swung his arms outwards, he let his body weight come back. All of his body weight, along with the sharp force of his bat moving so fast, basically allows him to straight up knock the zombie's head off. Or the infected. Now, as soon as Midoriya does that, he swings the bat out to the left and hits another zombie. Now, he tries to pull his bat out of the zombie's head as it begins to slump to the ground. The next infected trying to actually get at Midoriya. As soon as it does actually grab Midoriya by his left arm, Midoriya just throws out his leg, being able to kick it in its the side of his left leg, before being able to actually grab at his knife. As soon as he does go to grab at his knife, Inko already came in. She comes in and stabs the zombie directly in the head, being able to take it down, saying that she said to be careful. Hey, I'm sorry, I didn't expect my bat to get stuck. Jeez. Besides, I'd already told you, Mom, this thing, it's not very good. Well, it's all we have right now. A lot of the equipment we usually do have is already a little bit more modified. Yeah, but still, a standard bat would have worked. Yeah, but a standard bat would have broken, dear. Fair enough. Anyways, where are we heading to next? Well, first off, let's get up somewhere high. Inko saying. She looks around and she sees a crane and a construction yard down the block, telling him that they need to meet up there. Once they get there, then it's going to be quite simple. They'll look and see the area from up high. Now, Midoriya, he immediately starts running, and he shoots off his grappling hook, and immediately just begins to pull himself. As soon as he does, he grabs onto a lamppost and swings up, before shooting off his grappling hook again, and trying to actually fly over. He thinks that he might just be a little bit off, as he swung up high. As soon as he got very high in the air, he does go to shoot out his grappling hook. As soon as he fires it, he's able to hit the crane, and he does come swinging over, having to be careful to brace himself against the metal, since the amount of force, it's very fast. As soon as Inko and Midoriya get there, they begin to actually go over the plan. They've already marked down most of the stores that they've investigated and looked at. So, it's going to be relatively easy to figure out where they need to go. There's a place just around the corner, and they're thinking that it might still have valuable food in it. At least stuff that wasn't perishable, like snacks and chips. And Inko is praying that there might actually be some beef jerky there. That stuff is a godsend. Now, they begin to leave. Inko making sure that she can hold off some of the zombies that they infected by distracting them. She grabs a ginormous brick from the brickyard wherever they got down and looked around the area a little bit. As soon as they did go over, she threw it at a car. As soon as she hit it, she was actually a bit more surprised. She was only expecting a loud sound, along with denting it. But not only did she break the glass to it, that battery might still be working. No one salvaged the car, and it began to go off. Now, with that being said, Midoriya, he's picking the lock. And as soon as the alarm does go off, he just smashes his hand through the window, and quickly undoes the lock and gets in. Inko running in after him. Now, they begin to look around. The door was locked. However, from what they can see, scavengers have already been here. And it's all picked clean. Now, they do take some of the things they can find, along with the fact that there's actually a bit of a wall safe here. Directly, well, behind a half-burned painting, there's a safe embedded in the wall. And Midoriya was actually quite curious about it. If it's still there, that means that there's still something in there. Possibly like a gun. And Inko does tell him. Anything that's probably valuable that was in there was probably already taken. But it is a notable find. And whenever they do pull up the map, they actually do mark it down, drawing a little square on it. And actually making a keyhole. This indicates that there is a locked container there, and to make sure you know about it. Now, after they're done with that, they do leave. And they do have to be a bit more careful. Night is coming soon. Now, whenever they do get out of the place, there is something odd going on. Midoriya does notice something. A lot of the zombies that were over by that car, they're all, well, gone. Now that he thinks about it, that thing stopped going off after they went inside. And looking at it, they're all just beaten. And the car looks crushed. Why is that? That's strange. Now, Midoriya actually does bring his hand up and go to fire off his grappling hook. As soon as he does fire it, this is whenever someone comes out of nowhere. When Midoriya wasn't paying attention, they snuck up on him, and they tackled him onto the ground. Midoriya, thinking it wasn't infected, goes to immediately swing out his bat at their side. And they do just begin by telling Midoriya to not move. What the hell? Hey, listen to me. You need to run. Get out of here. Also, do you have any of that stuff? Any of what? Antizine. I'm telling you, I need some now. I was bit. That thing. It's crazy. It's a monster. It's tearing everyone apart. Now, this is whenever the man does hear a certain sound. And it was simply just a click. Inko pulled back the hammer to her gun and is currently pointing it at the back of the man's head, telling him to get off of her son. The man's slowly getting up and turning around. Inko telling the man to take a couple steps back. So I'm guessing we have you to thank for the streets being clear? The man simply just bringing his hand out and putting it to his mouth, before shaking his head no. Don't make a sound. What are you talking about? Shh. Listen. The man simply just pointing in a direction. And Inko and Midoriya watch as a zombie, or what looks to be one, is walking down the street. However, it looks different. This zombie, it looks muscular. It looks bigger and stronger. And it is dragging something behind it. Now, this is whenever Inko simply just asks, what is that? Shh. That's a bulk. Or at least, I think it is. It's a guy with a strength quirk. Wait, what? What are you talking about? The infected lose their quirks after they turn. They become useless. Not all the time. You know those little rumors you've been hearing? What? No, you can't be serious. The organization I used to work with, they've studied these things. It's impossible for the virus to piggyback off of the quirk gene. Shut up. Listen to me. It can. I've seen this all before. It doesn't matter. Enko quickly just pointing the gun directly at this thing. And she goes to fire. The shot ringing out. And the man, yeah. The look on his face, it's not good. He turns and bolts off. Right now, the street is mostly clear. All the zombies or infected, they're a bit more curious about that gunshot, along with that car alarm that they heard earlier. It was still going off. And whenever it stopped, they didn't see any real reason to stop going in that direction. It's a sign that something's going on over there. Now, with that being said, Inko, she's firing off bullets into the bulk zombie. And it's beginning to charge at both of them. As soon as Inko realized that this thing will not go down, yeah, she quickly turned and fired off her grappling hook with her other hand. As soon as she did, Midoriya basically grabbed onto her leg, or at least the harness around her leg, and decreased his body weight. Both of them went flying up into the air. Midoriya letting go of his mother and going to go for his grappling hook, realizing that he does not have it, and trying to look around for it. He's going away from where his hook is. He fired it off, and the guy tackled him. Meaning, shit. Midoriya is just looking behind him, and being able to see something. Throwing his hands up, and being able to grab onto what seems to be like a clothing line. As soon as he grabs it, yeah. He needs to decrease his weight fast. He was already at roughly about 10 pounds. However, now, 10 pounds on a clothing line, that was a bit too much. The line gives and begins to swing outwards, and going down. Midoriya going down directly into a pool of the infected. And Midoriya, he decreases his body weight more, trying to half his weight to 5 pounds. As soon as he does that, this is whenever a sound is heard. A grappling hook along with that Inko comes flying in and grabbing her son. Being able to grab the wire and immediately just grab onto where she hit her hook into. As soon as she does, she begins to quickly pull the thing over and tie it on. Midoriya is still holding on to it, and being able to swing his way up, making himself weigh less than 1 pound and swing up and over. As soon as he does get onto the actual building, he completely undoes his body weight, and he takes a deep breath. He's beginning to get very, very lightheaded from doing this. His quirk, he's putting a lot more strain on it than he should be right now. Simply going down to 50 is easy. And focusing on it, he can keep himself at 10. However, 1 pound, that became difficult. He needs to maintain focus and his breathing, otherwise he will not be able to use his quirk. Now, Midoriya, he halves his body weight again, and takes off running. Inko confused at what he's doing until he just leaps over a building. As soon as he leaps over, that's whenever an infected that was trying to go after him, they jump across. Or at least try to. The gap was too wide and they smashed down directly on top of a truck. Midoriya being able to clear the gap and immediately land down, turning and looking on the ground. His hook isn't here. But he did find something. He was able to pick up what seems to be like a piece of bloody rebar. Probably going to be useful right now. And Midoriya, he does turn around, and smashes one of the infected's arms that were trying to climb up the building. As soon as he does that, he directly brings the piece of rebar up and stabs it down into their head, pulling it out and beginning to look around. Now, he does find his grappling hook, And as soon as he does grab it, he immediately launches himself off, beginning to fly back over towards his mother. As soon as he does meet up with her, they begin to go off and head back to their camp. Now, once they do arrive, everyone's quite surprised to see them. They barely got back as sun was setting, and they should have been back around 30 minutes ago. Now, after they do basically tell everyone about what they saw, no one really believes in Ko. However, with the fact that Midoriya is backing up her story, that the thing was big enough to smash a car, it becomes a bit more believable. Especially since they say that this thing was directly across from a store they were at, and it smashed a car that's just sitting there. The thing will not move, so if they want any evidence, go over to that store and look at it. Now, along with that, they ran into a stranger. That alone is kind of weird. Usually people are with communities. So if the man was on his own, he might be dangerous. So they gotta watch for him. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing night. Catch you guys in the next part.